In a world dominated by global fast food giants like McDonald's and Burger King, no one expected a humble Filipino bee to buzz its way into the big leagues. But that's exactly what Jollibee did. With a sweet smile, a red suit, and a burger that doesn't play by Western rules, Jollibee rose from Manila's local corners to international headlines. At the heart of its global success, a simple juicy patty layered with nostalgia and flavor, better known as the Yum Burger. This isn't just a fast food story, it's a tale of cultural pride, smart strategy, and a burger that speaks home. Before the world came to know about the red bee with a chef's hat, there was a young Chinese Filipino boy named Tony Tang Katayong. Born to a family of Chinese immigrants who ran a small restaurant in Davao City, Tony grew up around food, flavor, and hustle. His parents didn't come from wealth, but what they lacked in money, they made up for in grit. That gritty determination would later become the heart of Jollibee. In 1975, Tony started a small Magnolia ice cream parlor franchise in Quezon City with just 2 branches. It was meant to be a simple business, scoops of vanilla, chocolate, and mango for neighborhood kids. But Tony was no ordinary entrepreneur. He noticed something interesting. Customers weren't just coming in for ice cream. They wanted hot food, sandwiches, burgers, and rice meals. At the same time, dairy prices were climbing, threatening the entire ice cream model. Most people would panic. Tony pivoted. Inspired by Western fast food but determined to keep it Filipino, Tony transformed his ice cream parlor into a full-blown fast food restaurant. In 1978, Jollibee was born. And with it came the Yum Burger, a humble sandwich with a uniquely seasoned beef patty and a sweet tangy secret sauce. Unlike the typical salty American burgers, the Yum Burger hit the sweet savory balance that perfectly matched the Filipino palate. People were intrigued. It wasn't trying to copy McDonald's, it was different, it was local, and most importantly, it felt like home. Tony's story wasn't just about food, it was about listening, adapting, and building something truly Filipino from the ground up. And the Yum Burger? That was just the first bite of what would become a national obsession. To understand Jollibee's success, you have to understand one thing. Filipinos don't just eat to fill their stomachs, they eat to feel something. Food is emotional, it's comfort, celebration, and culture wrapped into one. And Jollibee, they knew exactly how to cook for the heart. Unlike Western fast food giants that brought salty fries and char-grilled patties, Jollibee took a bold turn. They went sweet. Really sweet. From their spaghetti topped with banana ketchup and hot dog slices to the gravy-drenched chicken joy, every item on the menu was built around Filipino taste memory, a deep-rooted craving for sweet savory flavors that mirror the home-cooked meals Mom or Lola used to make. The Yum Burger was a masterpiece of this approach. Its patty wasn't heavily salted or spiced. It was mild, almost familiar, but it was the sauce that did it. A secret blend that was slightly sweet, a little tangy, and comforting in ways that people couldn't even explain. Food psychologists call it flavor nostalgia, that feeling of being transported to childhood through taste. For many Filipinos, the Yum Burger tasted like recess at school, rainy days with cousins, or birthday parties in a barangay hall. At the time, McDonald's offered burgers that were technically superior, juicier patties, and more refined ingredients, but they didn't connect. Jollibee understood that food wasn't just about quality, it was about identity. And while McDonald's tried to introduce foreign flavors, Jollibee served what people already loved. More than just a fast food chain, Jollibee became a taste of home, a familiar hug in burger form. And in a country where millions would eventually live and work abroad, that taste would one day mean even more. In 1981, a giant arrived. McDonald's, the world's most powerful fast food chain, opened its first branch in Morayta, Manila. For most local businesses, this would have been the end. How could a homegrown brand like Jollibee compete with the Golden Arches? But Tony Tang Katayong wasn't intimidated. He knew that McDonald's was bringing American flavors into a market that thrived on Filipino taste. While McDonald's served Big Macs and apple pies, Jollibee doubled down on sweet-style spaghetti, crispy chicken joy, and of course, the Yum Burger. Instead of adjusting to McDonald's, Jollibee chose to stand its ground and fight. What followed was the Burger Wars of the Philippines. Jollibee launched bold ad campaigns that weren't just catchy, they were deeply Filipino. Commercials focused on family, love, humor, and everyday life. The Red Bee mascot danced with kids on TV, while McDonald's maintained a more formal American tone. Behind the scenes, Jollibee implemented rigorous employee training and improved service speed to match their global rival. They weren't just competing, they were learning, adapting, and evolving faster. And in a stunning twist, Jollibee didn't just survive, it defeated McDonald's in its own game, capturing the hearts and stomachs of the Filipino masses. By the mid-1980s, Jollibee had taken a dominant lead in the local fast food scene. This was no fluke. It was proof that Filipino flavors, when served with confidence, could take down giants. In the age of supersized combos and double patty monsters, the Yum Burger might look small, modest, but don't let the size fool you. What it lacks in bulk, it makes up for in legacy. The Yum Burger has always been simple: a soft sesame bun, a thin but flavorful beef patty, and that mysterious sweet and savory sauce that made Filipinos fall in love. Over the years, minor tweaks were made to improve texture and shelf life, but the soul of the burger stayed intact. That sauce, still secret, still addictive. But it's not just about the taste. The Yum Burger is soaked in cultural significance. For kids growing up in the Philippines, it was often their first introduction to fast food, a birthday treat, a lunchbox surprise. You'd see it at school canteens, packed inside plastic containers with a cold juice drink. It was affordable, accessible, and always satisfying. For overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, the Yum Burger became something far deeper. After years abroad, away from family, food, and Tagalog, the first bite of a Yum Burger on a trip home brought tears. It wasn't just a burger, it was home in sandwich form. In a world chasing gourmet everything, the Yum Burger never tried to be fancy, and maybe that's why it stuck. It wasn't just a snack, it was a memory you could taste. Jollibee's global journey didn't start with a dream of conquering the West, it started with something more personal, serving homesick Filipinos abroad. By the late 1980s, millions of Filipinos were working overseas: nurses, engineers, caregivers, and domestic helpers, sending money back home but aching for things they left behind. Jollibee saw this and made a bold move. They wouldn't expand where profit was guaranteed, but where Filipinos needed them the most. In 1987, Jollibee opened its first international store in Taiwan, followed by Guam and then the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE were filled with OFWs craving a taste of home. Jollibee gave it to them. Yum Burgers, Jolly Spaghetti, and Chicken Joy, just like they remembered. Then came North America. In 1998, Daly City, California, home to a massive Filipino community, got its first Jollibee. The turnout? Insane. Lines snaked around the block, grown men cried, parents brought their kids to share the taste they grew up with. One viral story told of a nurse who drove 3 hours just to eat a Yum Burger on her birthday because that was her childhood. By the early 2000s, Jollibee was present in Hong Kong, Brunei, the US, and parts of Europe. Their strategy wasn't flashy, it was emotional. Wherever Filipinos went, Jollibee followed. And at the heart of every expansion, the Yum Burger. Reliable, familiar, emotional. In a foreign country filled with strange food and unfamiliar faces, one bite of that sweet savory burger brought everything rushing back. Jollibee didn't just expand, it reconnected a diaspora with its identity, one Yum Burger at a time. After dominating the Philippines and the Filipino diaspora, Jollibee faced its most daunting challenge yet, breaking into the heart of the Western market. The first bold step came in 1998, when Jollibee opened its doors in Daly City, California, a strategic location with a large Filipino population. But Jollibee wasn't just catering to the homesick, they had their sights set on something far grander, winning the American public. In a country where fast food was synonymous with burgers, fries, and salt-heavy offerings, Jollibee introduced a completely different concept: sweet, savory flavors that weren't mainstream in the US. The Yum Burger, with its mild beef patty and signature sweet sauce, was unlike anything most Americans had tasted before. At first, it seemed like a gamble. However, Jollibee's unique approach quickly gained traction, especially as food culture in the US began to embrace more diverse, fusion-style cuisines. Jollibee's success didn't just rest on the burger. Viral moments played a crucial role. YouTube reviews, mukbangs, and even celebrity visits made Jollibee's US debut an internet sensation. Non-Filipinos, curious about the buzz, found themselves falling in love with the Yum Burger. It wasn't just a burger, it was an experience, a flavor, and a window into another world. Jollibee wasn't merely breaking into the market, it was shifting the paradigm of American fast food. But Jollibee knew it wasn't enough to stop here. The success in Daly City was just the beginning. The world was next. Jollibee's US expansion wasn't just about gaining a foothold, it was part of a larger strategy to position Jollibee Foods Corporation, JFC, as a global player in the fast food industry. In its quest to become a serious rival to giants like McDonald's and Yum Brands, which owns Taco Bell, KFC and Pizza Hut, JFC made a series of strategic moves that would reshape its future. In 2018, JFC made headlines when it acquired Smash Burger, an American burger chain that had struggled to make its mark in the US. This move not only expanded Jollibee's footprint, but also bolstered its burger portfolio, offering a more competitive edge in a saturated market. JFC wasn't buying up competitors, it was creating a more diverse brand ecosystem that could stand tall against the world's biggest fast food corporations. But JFC didn't stop there. In 2020, it made another major acquisition, the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, a California-based coffee chain. By diversifying its holdings, JFC was positioning itself as more than just a Filipino fast food chain. It was becoming a global brand, one that could stand alongside the likes of Starbucks, McDonald's and Yum Brands. As Jollibee began expanding its reach beyond the Filipino community, it was clear JFC wasn't just looking to be the next McDonald's, they were setting their sights on global dominance. But expansion on this scale didn't just rely on great acquisitions, it would need a brand that resonated with people everywhere. By now, Jollibee wasn't just a challenger in the fast food industry, it was a force to be reckoned with. With acquisitions under its belt and an ever-growing global presence, the company set its sights on competing with the world's biggest fast food brands. While McDonald's, Burger King and KFC had long established global empires, Jollibee took a different route. They didn't just throw their classic offerings into new markets. They made the effort to adapt while maintaining the brand's distinct identity. Whether in Milan, London or the Middle East, Jollibee ensured that while the Yum Burger remained a fixture, the menu would be tweaked to fit local preferences. But even as it customized its offerings for different regions, the core values of emotional branding remained constant. The red and yellow mascot, the heartwarming commercials, and the Jollibee feel were universal. In every corner of the world, Jollibee wasn't just selling burgers and fries, it was offering a taste of home, a connection to Filipino roots. And it wasn't just the Filipino diaspora that was falling for Jollibee's charm. Non-Filipino customers were also discovering something special, the uniqueness of the Yum Burger. The combination of flavors that seemed both familiar and novel were taking root in places Jollibee had never dreamed of. Through emotional branding, Jollibee wasn't just competing with the likes of McDonald's, it was becoming an emotional staple in fast food worldwide. From California to London to Manila, Jollibee wasn't just surviving, it was thriving, bringing a taste of home to the world. Jollibee's journey from a small ice cream parlor to a global fast food giant is nothing short of inspiring. The Yum Burger has become a symbol of Filipino pride and cultural connection, blending unique flavors that resonate worldwide. As Jollibee continues to expand and innovate, the future looks bright. And what do you think about Jollibee's rise? Have you tried the Yum Burger? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more stories on your favorite brands. We'd love to hear your opinion, so let's talk about Jollibee.